Hello, everyone. I just wanted to describe a super positive experience I had with this new efficient US government. And I've been in this situation probably 50 times in my life with friends and relatives and myself. And I just wanted to share that because there's a lot of drama and negativity in the mainstream news about what's going on in the government. But I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and a lot of what they're doing is good, and it's making things better and more efficient. But obviously, as they say, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. So everyone is not happy with some of the legitimate things that have been maybe canceled or deleted. But like in the case of USAID, I mean, this is just a steaming pile of toxic garbage. So I'm going to UK today, and Sunday I learned that my kid's passport, child passport, was expired. And it slipped my mind. It's totally my fault. But the reason is child passports are good for 5 years. It's my first kid. I didn't know that. So adult passports are for 10 years. So I immediately panicked and paid $1,000 to rushmypassport.com within the hour. And they didn't open until 9 a.m. Monday. So I filled out all the DS11, everything. Then at 9 a.m., I even called at 8 a.m. the Knoxville Passport Acceptance Agency to make an appointment, and they're like, "Well, when are you leaving? Like, is it 2 weeks? You know, that's their normal time frame for Rush." I said Wednesday, and he said, "Oh." So he said that that's probably not possible. So at 9 a.m., but he was super helpful. So local government, I have a great experience with anyway. But this guy in Knoxville was super helpful. Then at 9 a.m., the Rush My Passport said we can only do it in 7 days due to the FedEx problem of you send the documents overnight, then we process them one day, send it to the State Department overnight. They make the passport overnight. So step, 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 and then there's a weekend. We can't do it till next week, so that's not going to work. So they gave me a refund. Then I called TDS, Travel Document Systems, I think it's called, which I used in 2018. It's also a Rush agency. And in 2018, I had a similar situation with me, but I lived in Atlanta at the time. In it, I think there's 10 or 15 passport offices managed by the federal government, the State Department in the United States. There's one in like New York, Miami, big cities. And there's one in Atlanta. So I figured these guys can get me an appointment because getting a next day appointment at a federal government office is impossible. And TDS is like, oh, we got out of the business during COVID because everything changed, and so we don't do that anymore. So the best we can do for a child passport is 2 weeks. That's the Rush service, or 10 days, something like that. So that's not going to work. But they were really nice. I used them before. So anyway, he's like, call the passport office. So at this point, I'm figuring I'm going to have to cancel my trip. I'm going to have to get a refund. I'm going to have to rebook and all that, prepaid all the hotels and everything. So then I called the passport office and got someone on the phone in a couple of minutes, which is unbelievable. I mean, on USCIS and dealing with the State Department before, I've been on hold for hours, and there's nothing you can do. It's like, there's a number to call, you're in line. So anyway, I got within 3 or 4 minutes, I pressed through the menu, got someone on the phone, and they're like, "Yeah, let me check that for you. Okay, are you traveling within 2 weeks?" Like, yeah, I'm traveling Wednesday. So they're like, well, the best we can do is Wednesday, which is the day we're leaving, which is today. I was just devastated. I'm like, that's okay. We'll just change it. It's not the end of the world. And they're like, well, we're gonna transfer you to the 72-hour emergency service. I'm like, okay. So they transferred me, and this guy gets on the phone, and he's so helpful. He's speaking fast. He's reading these disclosures, and he's like, when are you leaving? And I told him, and he's like, we can do tomorrow morning at 7:30, 8:30, or 9:30. So I said, we'll take the 7:30. Drove to Atlanta. It's about 3 hours. Stayed in a hotel across the street with points because it was a Marriott. So paid $37 for a nice hotel across the street. I was looking at the office because I was there before from our hotel room on the 48th floor, which is pretty cool because uh, it was pretty quiet. So it was a nice experience. It was nice weather. It wasn't raining or anything. So we got in kind of late-ish and just prepared everything, got all the documents before we left, drove down there, all three of us, and got in line around 7:10, and there were people ahead of us. There were people there at 7, and there were about 50, 60, 70 people, something like that, in line for 7:30 appointments. So they're like, okay, 7:30 appointments here, 8 o'clock appointments over there. There's only a couple people went to the 8 o'clock line. So we go in, we're like fourth or fifth. Every step of the way, there are like three things. You have to first go to the first part. They make sure you have everything, that you don't go upstairs and waste their time. They put everything in this big paper clip, go through security. Everything was fast. Everyone was friendly. Everything was just super efficient. Then we finally got to the passport office where you get a number and wait. There was no one waiting. It was 7:30. We were the first there. But anyway, we went into the rush line where you don't even get a number. You're just like next, next, next. It's like the urgent service. It was unbelievable. So we went through that, and then the person who processed our application was so nice and friendly, and communicating with our child a little bit, and just the nicest person. And then when we came back to get it, she's like, "Did you get it?" And we're like, "Yes, thank you, thank you." So amazing experience. So we finished the application in 10 minutes. So we left with all the waiting and everything. Probably it was before 8. It was like 7:50. We went to breakfast. It was 8 o'clock. They said normally you pick up your passport at 2:30 for same day service, but we have this new thing. Since you're in such a rush and you're from out of town, we're going to text you when it's ready. So we ate breakfast. Then we were going to go to the Children's Museum. We walked through Centennial Park. By the time we were just across the street from the Children's Museum, walking through Centennial Park after breakfast, we didn't even get to the museum yet because the museum opens at 10. The museum was closed. It was so early. We got a text message just around 10. Your passport is ready. It was like 2 hours. So we went to pick up our passport, came home, and we're going to London. So we got it within. It was unbelievable. We got the appointment, and everything was. I've been in this situation before. Once in Miami when I was a kid, once in Atlanta in 2018. I have never seen such an efficient government. I mean, the phone. I was able to get an appointment by phone. I filled out all the documents. Even at the office, people were friendly. Now, everyone's going to say, "Oh, it's a coincidence." Well, here's my retort to that. It may be a coincidence. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying that it's a positive experience with the U.S. government, with the federal government. And I have been down this road just countless times, and it's never been so smooth. I mean, these people are rude with you, or they're just stressed out. I mean, I'm not blaming them. They're just. I mean, if you eat a crap burger 10 times a day, then after 5 years, you're going to be grouchy. And they deal with a lot of crap. So I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying this was a totally different experience. It was like a different government. It was like it's how things should be. And so my thought is that maybe by taking some of the corruption out, like some of these workers who are doing nothing, or maybe workers who are really doing their jobs are being retasked to other stupid, irrelevant things, and that's been ended, and they can just focus on their job. Whatever's been happening, it made these government workers, the federal workers, so efficient, and this is a very positive. Maybe it's like a side effect. In other words, maybe they didn't. Their goal is to make the government more efficient, but their goal was not to deliver passports in 2 hours, right? But this could be a positive side effect from getting out some of the inefficiencies in the operation. I mean, if you look at the private sector, if you take a company which is bloated, you've got typically this bureaucratic class of middle-level managers going around and their job is to check other people who are doing their jobs. And it's kind of there's so much just irrelevant waste. Like there was a group